Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm gonna wait till some more people get in the chat room before I begin. And I'm sorry this is such a short notice, everybody. We had a scheduled live plan for today, but we had to cancel and reschedule at the last minute. So I was supposed to have a special guest come on today, but at the last minute I had to reschedule. I really do apologize about that. It wasn't due to me, but my guest had some things to do today. If you guys, I'm sure you guys already know, it's really close to holiday. It's the weekend before the holiday, so I thought we'd be able to get it out the way today, but we might have to actually do it after Thanksgiving. So maybe that following weekend. But I will touch bases with you guys and let you guys know. So this is like kind of a spirit of moment. I just decided to do a quick Q&A based off the last presentation that I just did, answer any questions. I wanted to kind of read some questions and some comments that was made on my last video. That way I can kind of clear up any confusion and address any more questions that you guys might have for me. And this is going to be a real short live. But anyway, good afternoon. Hey, Drea. Hey, D. Killer Cam. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Sugar and Spice. It's going to be a real quick live today. I'm not going to hold you guys for long like I did. My presentations go on for hours, and I don't plan it to be that long, but it's just when I'm working, I just continue to let the spirit just use me and continue to work, and I never know how long the presentation is going to be. But drop me a one. Let me do a quick sound check. Drop me a one if you guys can hear me, if I sound pretty good. If you guys hear a barking dog at any point, just let me know. I'm looking in the chat room. So if my puppy is being too loud, just let me know. My puppy is outside in the backyard playing, but you might can actually hear my puppy scratching at the door or anything, okay? So just let me know and I'll try to mute up so my dog won't take over the whole live. I'm gonna give people one more chance to get in before I'm looking on my phone at the last video because I want to address some of these comments. But anyway, hey everybody. Hey Misty, it's me. Hey. Okay, the reason why I want to address these comments because I know I have a lot of new subs and a lot of people that haven't been following me for long. And so a lot of this information is new to a lot of you. But those that's been following me since day one or since I have really got on this spiritual path, this spiritual journey. I mean, like really in depth and looking into these cases. You guys already know, like I've been talking about this stuff, been pointing certain things out, but I don't want my new subs to be confused as to why I'm looking into this stuff. What do this whole numbers thing mean? And I know a lot of times people would listen to my videos and they think it's just all about the numbers, and which it's not. Because I had a lot of comments saying, well, I was born on, January the 17th. Does that mean I'm doomed for destruction? Or, and things like that. And I don't want, and my point is not, my purpose is not to um, push fear. I'm not trying to promote fear. That's not what I'm here for. Okay, I'm trying to push faith, but I also want you guys to be aware, of what's going on so you can get to a place where you cleave to the Lord and you do have faith and trust in his protection. So I just really want to kind of, open the eyes of the blind because that's what Jesus' mission was. That's what he did. He opened the eyes of the blind, and draw people's hearts closer to the Father. And if anybody have been following me for a while, listening to my videos, and you don't get that from me, then I mean, just move it along. I mean, maybe it's just not for you in this time, but I'm not going to stop doing what God called me to do to please no man. I'm just not. So I just wanted to say that. But welcome everybody for coming in today. Like I said, we just gonna do a short lab because I did have to reschedule the lab that I had planned today. So a few things that I wanted to address, and you guys can ask me whatever questions you want to ask me in the chat room. If there was any confusion pertaining to this video or any other videos I've done, drop the questions in the chat room and I'll try to get to them. My puppy is barking, and she sounds like an owl. Hold on. If she get too loud, just let me know. Okay, so the first thing that I really wanted to address, like I said, is the whole numbers thing. I don't want you guys to get it confused or to get it twisted and think that this is all just based on numbers. And I had somebody come at me and say, well, it's a whole book in the Bible called Numbers. And I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that. And my interpretation of reading the book of Numbers is the fact that God is really specific about how he wanted his tabernacle built, of how he wanted us to dress, in the old days, our garments. And, he's real particular about how he wants to be worshiped. I mean, just look at today. Look at the worship today. And look how people are worshiping the Lord today. They're going into the churches and they're actually, to me, it looked like they bringing the world into the church, and this is the reason why I think that he was really specific about how he wanted his tabernacle built and how he wanted to be worshipped. But what we're kind of pointing out over here is like hidden agendas, and hold on, y'all. Let me try to get this dog. Okay, so hopefully she'll let me get some quiet time. She is a Maltese poodle. I have a Maltese poodle and a Chihuahua is a boy, but she's a Maltese poodle. So yeah, I forgot where I was at. So I don't want anybody confused when it comes to the number thing. Okay, see what they're doing um, something that's called a Kabbalah, and in a Kabbalah it shows you how to do witchcraft based off of numbers and using gematria. So what they're basically doing is like a witchcraft based off of numbers. Is another reason why you see the world pushing witchcraft and pushing magic just as well. And that's another thing behind Disney as well. Do you believe in magic? So they pushing magic and witchcraft based off of they teach based off of the Kabbalah's teachings. So this is pretty much what I'm pointing out, and it's satanic. It's satanic. And God tells us that we should not be performing any type of sorcery or doing any type of witchcraft. He is totally against that. And so this is something that they're actually doing. So what I'm pointing out is not the fact that your birthday is January the 17th, but the fact that there are people who actually practice this type of witchcraft and they use numbers, to help perform they quote unquote magic. So this is really what I'm trying to point out. And so you don't have anything to worry about if you're not a part of this type of elite, or if you're not in these type of secret societies that actually practice Kabbalah. If you're not yourself practicing Kabbalah, then you have nothing to worry about. So it's not just about the numbers, it's about the practice itself and what it is they're using it for, the hidden agendas behind it. Excuse me. And I would think that everybody pretty much caught that, but like I said, a lot of people are still new and they think that when I show certain things that, my whole video is about numbers and I'm proving that this was a sacrifice because of the numbers. No, I produced hundreds of receipts. I mean, my slab was like 150 slabs. So I produced enough receipts to kind of prove that this was a hidden agenda, and it was a practice of Kabbalah being used. Okay, and so for the pastor to say, we serve a God who's all about numbers. Our God is not all about numbers just because there's one book in the Bible called Numbers. You see what I'm saying? Like we serve a God who's all about worship, who's all about praise, who's all about us using our bodies as the living sacrifice. I could see if he said something like that, but he's not a God of numbers. He's not a God who encourages us to practice numerology or geometry or numbers. And let me also clear this up too. I don't practice this stuff. What I do is I see it. It's clear as day. Like now I can just look at a story and it stick out to me like a sore thumb. I write down my notes. I don't have to look into anything. I pray for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for some things that I don't understand, and I lay it all out. It's just that simple. But I'm not actually over here practicing geometry, okay, or Kabbalah, or any of this stuff. So I just want to kind of point that out. Um, I guess the Bible said God is not for magic or witchcraft. Exactly, exactly. And that's what these people are doing. So that's mainly what I'm pointing out. I'm pointing out the fact that these people have sold their souls to Satan, and in return, they're getting money, they're getting status. You see what I'm saying? So it's more to it than just the numbers. If you continue to look through the presentation and listen to the stuff that I'm teaching in the presentation, and you'll see is more to it than just numbers. They use numbers, they use colors, they use signs, they use symbols, they use different things. Okay, but it's hidden and it's right in front of our face. So that's where you get the term hidden in plain sight, because that's exactly what it is. It's hidden, but it's in plain sight. They have to let you know what they're up to. And we spoke on this before, and we spoke about how when Satan does stuff, Satan is the accuser. Okay, so he's going to accuse you. He's going to say, she, performed this. She did that, and it was right there in front of her. It's not my fault that she was ignorant to it. Okay, that's why you are not supposed to be ignorant to Satan's devices, because he's going to do stuff that's going to be right in front of your face, plain and simple. His devices are not hidden or not secretive. It's only hidden to the blind eye. Now, if you blind, then yeah, it would be hidden to you, but it's right there in front of your face. So in order for him to actually accuse you, he has to make it known to you. He has to put it right there in front of your face and say, "See, Lord, see what she did." Do you get what I'm saying? So this is the reason why it's hidden, but in plain sight. It's hidden to the blind, but yet it's in plain sight to those who can see. So I wanted to kind of mention that. I had some good questions and some good things that people was actually putting on here that I should have probably put in the video, but I didn't. Because certain things, the reason why I didn't put certain things in the video, because I kind of, when I went to God about them, I just kept getting in my spirit that it was a distraction. I kept hearing it was a distraction. So why even speak on it and go into it if it was a distraction? Why add it to the presentation if it was a distraction? So one of the things somebody brought to me, and this was a really good point too, and I probably should have touched on it just to make everybody aware. But there was a lab that went out, and we definitely looked into it. It went out on the 20th, from what we found, and there was two white men who found a baby, Roman, and they called in and said it was Cupcake. Okay, they said they found Cupcake on the 20th. This was something that me and my team also looked into, so don't think we just completely ignored it. No, we looked into it. We ruled out everything. I mean, we came up with every possibility. We ruled out, the impossible. And when I went to the Lord about it, I just kept hearing distraction. I felt like it was a strong distraction. It was an illusion. And this is another reason why. Okay, because today we have the media in the palm of our hands. Okay, we have when I mean by the palm of your hands, in your phone. You have a device in the palm of your hands that can just create a video, create some content that would just go viral. So being the fact that this video went out and it went viral, but we have no real evidence that it was actually Camille, I felt that it was a distraction. We did not see her face. Now, for a 3-year-old to go missing and be missing for weeks, her face is blasted all across the news. If anyone encountered this child and showed her face on camera and said, "Hey, I found Cupcake. Oh my God, y'all, look, she roaming. Here she go right here," and we actually saw her face, then we couldn't help but to accept the fact that, wow, she's still alive. That's her. But whenever we get blurry footage, whenever we get edited footage, whenever we get mysterious videos, whenever we get things like that, that leave you with doubt. That leave you with suspicious. Is this real? Because I can't actually prove that that was her. There is no way by looking at that video that I can prove that that was her. Was it some random baby Roman? I don't know. Because it was never an Amber Alert sent out for another child other than Camille around that time. But what really stood out to me that made me feel like it was a distraction is the fact that the video was caught, but she was not captured on the video. First, her face was not captured on the video for us to know for a fact that that was her. And also, the cops was right there. The cops was right there. So when I went to the Lord about it, I just kept feeling like it was a distraction. And like I said, I did mention this in my group, and we did kind of chat about it for a while. We looked into the time frames this was. I didn't really try to find the two guys that was in the video. I didn't go that far up into it because I just kept feeling distraction. So, but that was one of the things that I wanted to bring up because we have to be aware, of also of distractions, because distractions can also lead our mind astray. And so for me, I felt like I had just enough. I had everything that God wanted me to put together and wanted me to show. And I said, these other little bits and pieces right here, these are just distractions. This distract your mind and get your mind off of the fact that Dominic was caught with his dead baby, with his deceased baby. You see what I'm saying? To get your mind off. And then plus they had already, the media had told us that she actually supposedly had died on the 12th. So I kind of feel like the people that's kind of running with the fact that, oh, she was found on the 20th, they have no explanation to support that. They have nothing behind it. So why leave me with something that why keep pushing something to me? Because there's certain channels that's just pushing it and they pushing it, but they can't explain nothing. All they can say to you is she's not dead, she's still alive. Well, that's not true because I've shown every single sign, every single symbol, every single proof out there that this was actually a sacrifice and it was a planned agenda. Now, whether they taking these babies somewhere and they hiding these babies, now I'm not going to negate that. I really don't know about that. But these babies are definitely being sacrificed. They're definitely being handed over to the Baphomet goat. And I actually have posted some posts before, and I think it was in other videos where I showed you guys that he wants to sacrifice human sacrifices, the sacrifices of babies. And if I could find it, I'm gonna actually pull it up for you guys so you guys can see for yourself, because a lot of people might have actually missed that. So let me try to see if I can pull that up so you guys can know what type of a devil he is. And the fact that it was already written in scripture that mothers and fathers and would sacrifice their own child to this goat. So what makes you think this is not happening today is what I don't know. Like, I don't understand. Why don't you think this is happening today? So I'm gonna try to pull that up for y'all again, so y'all can get an understanding of that. And plus, I don't really know off the top of my head exactly which scripture that is. So let me see if I can pull it up for you. Hey, Mr. Miles. Night, night, Miss Carla. I wish I had Miss Johnson on today, but I had to reschedule. I don't know if y'all caught the beginning of my live, but we had to reschedule. And like I said, I thought it was going to be kind of challenging anyway to kind of get her on right before Thanksgiving. I know people are normally really busy right before Thanksgiving. So we just have to reschedule that to hopefully the week after Thanksgiving. If not, I'll try to get her on real soon because we need to actually hear from a parent, from a mother who's fighting, who's proactive in the fight to get justice for their child. You know, we need to hear it and see what it looked like. So let me see if I can find this photo for you guys. Not sure if I'm gonna leave this live up. This is just a quick um live that I like to do to kind of touch bases with you guys and answer some questions that you might have based off of any videos that I've done to kind of iron out any confusions or anything. Okay, and while I'm looking this up, also to address some things that was said in the chat room, somebody wanted to know about my feelings towards April. I think a lot of people may have had it misconstrued by me saying that I believe that she was definitely aware and she was definitely in on it. But whether or not it was her sacrifice, I don't believe it was her sacrifice. Yes, I'm very aware that females cannot be Masons; they have to be Eastern Stars. I'm very aware of that. And so what I meant by saying one of these people are at the 22nd ranking. It could be her in her position as an Eastern Star, or it could be either one of these guys being a Freemason. This was the way I had to look at it. Somebody was at a level. I'm trying to find this particular picture that I had. But no, I really, as I continue to look through it and continue to expose the story, as a matter of fact, the following slide said I believe that Dominic was the one, and I said I believe he brought everybody else in. But I just want to kind of make that clear. Do I believe she have knowledge of this stuff? Yes, I do. I mean, people lie, but numbers don't. And so, do I believe that she not only had knowledge of it, but going along with everything? Yes, I do. But I think I made it clear when I showed the part that I believe she played, which was actually making her, well, let me see how I should say this. Um, Taking a picture, doing a 7-Eleven, putting those in place for the ritual so everything can go smoothly, and handing her child over to Dominic. And I believe that that was it. That was all. We've seen cases before where one parent is more proactive than the other parent, and the other parent come off kind of as innocent. And I've been the one to actually say, no, I believe that that parent had knowledge just as well, just by digging into the other parent. So I'm not going to let anybody slide just because the world can't accept what's going on. And that's just period. So I'm looking for this photo that I had. It was one particular photo that I wanted to show you guys because it was like, it laid everything out really smooth. I might have to send it to myself real quick. Let me see. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna email the one that I have to myself. But yeah, so as far as April, do I believe that she actually murdered her child? No. Do I believe that she took part in the agenda and accepted the role, yes, and played a particular part, yes. But at the same time, you have some parents that just I don't believe they have enough heart to actually do it, to actually go through with it. You see what I'm saying? However, do they agree upon it? Yes, yes. And if you also notice, some parents will, or some people that's attached to these cases, I've spoken on plenty of cases, not just this one right here. They would acknowledge many YouTubers, and they will call these YouTubers out. They would tell they followers this person is a fake, is a joke, yada yada yada. People would go to their videos and slam them and stuff like that. Y'all never really see that coming from me. Like they can't really come for me. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. A lot of times y'all might think that, oh, they going for this particular person because this person is the truth. This person must be feeling some truth. That's why they're going after that person. No, because they know when they speak on this person publicly, the people who's not aware of these particular YouTubers are gonna go over there and look at their videos and listen and all they gonna really see is them dragging this person and not really know what they talking about, right? But see, these people is not going to speak on me, and I guarantee you that, okay? Because what I have to say and what I show is truth, and they don't want you guys to see that. I've been here before. They don't want you guys to see that. Okay, so I just emailed it to myself. See if I could pull it up. Because that's just like a conversion. They like, oh yeah, she can definitely convert my followers into believing what she's saying. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to point this person out. I will trash this person and talk about this person, but I'm not going to point this person out because that person can actually, this person can convince the people of everything that they stand. And then next thing you know it, my followers will be looking at me some kind of way. So they know who to talk about. That's my point. They know who to talk about. They know who to point out. And they never really come for me. Just notice that. And I have had videos that did numbers, and I noted that it's been brought to their attention before. I know that it has, and I haven't really trashed nobody, but simply exposing these people, and they know better to come for me. And I'm not saying it's to brag or boast anything like that. I promise you, I'm not. But I'm just saying that that's true. Like you guys, they know better. Okay. Okay, trying to download this picture real quick so you guys can see this picture. Okay, so it was in Psalms 106. If anybody want to turn to Psalms 106, if not, then I'm gonna show it anyway. All right, let me show it real quick. And it's like I said, I'm just doing this really to kind of give you guys an understanding of where I'm coming from because a lot of people are so confused by my videos, and I'm like, oh, that's just Satan trying to confuse them. Okay, should I blow it up more, or can you see it? Matter of fact, I'll do this. Make sure you guys can see it. Okay, so anyway, the Bible even tells us they served their idols and were ensnared by them. They sacrificed to demons their own sons and daughters, shedding innocent blood, the blood of their own sons and daughters. Okay, so ever since the beginning of time, they have sacrificed their children to Moloch, aka the Baphomet. And that's see the horns on top of Moloch. This is what they throwing up. This is they represent the devil horns. They throwing up the horns. This is Moloch right here, who want the sacrifice of children. And just think about it. Satan is the copycat. He likes to mimic God. Okay, God wants you to be. He want to use your body as a living sacrifice. He wants you to be a living sacrifice. Satan wants a dead sacrifice. You get what I'm saying? He's the total opposite, but he likes to mimic God. Okay, so this is what they doing. They sacrificing their children over to Moloch. Moloch is, if you also read into Moloch, he is also someone who promises gold and silver. Nowadays, it's in the form of paper money. It's in the form of paper, green money. Same thing that they've always been doing. Let me look at the chat room. Okay, nothing different. So I just wanted to, to show you guys this so you guys can understand that this is more what I'm trying to prove to everybody is the fact that these demons are sacrificing their own sons and their own daughters. They shed innocent blood for riches, for fame, for rank, for clout, what y'all call it now. This is what they're sacrificing their children for. Okay, they have been doing it since the beginning of time. So fame and fortune, exactly. All right, so it tells us right here in the Bible. It also tells us in Luke, I want to say Luke 13:15 or Luke 15:16. If somebody can confirm that for me. But it also tells us in somewhere in Luke, maybe like 13:14 or 15:16. I can't remember. But it also tells us in Luke the same thing that you would be sacrificed by your own parents. So the Bible actually talks about children being sacrificed by their own parents. This is nothing that I made up. I'm not just out here trying to shame these parents, blame these parents or nothing. This is just what it is. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, I'm just not ignorant to it. And I have no problem with calling it out. All right, so like I said, it's in Psalms 106:34 through 45, I believe it say. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to read that to you guys and kind of give you guys an understanding and understanding it's not just about numbers. It was more to my video than just about numbers. So let me look at these other comments that I wanted to address in here. And if any of y'all, like I said, if any of y'all are kind of confused or doubtful about anything I put out, this is your time to go ahead and address it now. I don't think I'm gonna leave this video up. Like I said, it's just a really quick laugh for me to touch bases with you guys and really address any questions or concerns or anything that you might have. Okay, let me go back on here in the comments. There's a few things that I wanted to address. Let me see. I mean, for the most part, everybody is pretty much awakened. So it wasn't much. It wasn't much. Okay. Hmm. I think I might have actually addressed it all. Like I said, it wasn't much. It was just, a few people that was kind of confused about the whole number thing. And I don't want people to just be walking around in fear like, oh my God, my birthday is, January the 17th. Oh my God, my birthday is January the 19th. I don't want nobody to be walking in fear. Don't have fear, have faith. But you have to have faith in the one that you serve, in the God that you serve. And hopefully you serve the creator, your father in heaven, and you don't deal with nobody who dealing this type of stuff. Okay. Mm. Okay, so yeah, pretty much that was all I really wanted to straighten out as far as the comment thing. Here, I think that was it. Okay, yeah, that was it. Yes. And we also have to keep in mind too that a lot of the Hebrews were enslaved in Europe for 400 years. They were enslaved and they have adopted a lot of their cultures and a lot of their practices. They adopted it, So although they may be Hebrew Israelites, they still have the type of uh, European practices and mindsets, if you get what I'm saying, because they adopted it. I believe it must have been passed down to them from generation to generation. And these are people we should be praying that they be awakened to their true identity. Okay, yes, there are people who sacrifice innocent for personal gain, which basically is the evil version of sacrifice, but way before there were organized religions and the beliefs of Christianity and God. Yes, most definitely, but the only way I can really outline this and show this and prove this is by using the Word of God. For all those that believe in the Word of God, like I said, I haven't did no real in-depth study because I'm not into studying evil. Like that's just not. I don't. That's not what I'm into. You know what I'm saying? Like I really just work the cases. I just started working these cases a couple years ago, and I really only highlight and point out the things that's really highlighted to me. I don't really get deep off into studying the origins of evil. I'm not. You're not gonna see me reading the Alex Crowley or whatever his name Bible and trying to highlight some things in his word. Like that's just not me. I'm not gonna do that. So me basically because I read the word of God and I try to get a a clear understanding of the word of God. A lot of these things to me, everything that we need to know about life, and this is my opinion. I don't know who's not really who haven't read the word of God or whatever, but everything about life you can find inside the word of God. So for me, that's all I need to read and to study. And he will point out whatever it is I need to know along the way, to kind of help me have a better understanding, when it comes to certain things. So I don't get deep off into other books to try to educate myself because I do remember when Solomon said, he had all the wisdom in the world, but it was all vanity. It meant nothing in the end, So basically, just having a relationship with your Creator, reading the Word of God, asking praying to Him for wisdom, knowledge, understanding. The way I see it is all you need. It's really all you need. So really, I don't get off into all those other stuff, the other books, and you know, um, I used to when I was younger. I read before the Art of War. I read about the Art of War. I read certain books and stuff. But at this point in my life, I have all I need in my Holy Bible and in my relationship with the Most High. I have all I need. If there's anything that I have to question or any questions I have, I ask and I shall receive. So that's just where I'm at with that. Hey, John, ain't seen you in a minute. In a minute. In tribal times, innocents and adults were sacrificed to many different gods, beliefs, or powers, which they had looked at as something they had to be done. Oh, well, that's they looked at it like it was something they had to be done. I don't know what they belief was back then. 'Cause, I mean, but I mean, I'm not saying that you wrong about it. I mean, I just don't know. Like I said, I don't really go too deep, that far deep off into it. But I'm just saying the sacrificing of children. If anybody want to say that this is our custom and this is something that our tribes practice before, maybe so. I don't know, but what I know is it's something that's totally against God. And I know today they sacrificing their babies over to Moloch. But like I said, I don't really get deep off into that stuff. I don't get deep off into evil. I don't study evil. I don't that's just not what I do. I just have a spiritual relationship with the creator. And then another thing too, let me just clear it up. I don't do readings. I don't do spiritual readings on people. It may come across as if it's a spiritual reading, but this is not what I do. I'm just looking into cases. I'm praying for revelation. I'm pointing out evil. I'm exposing evil. Okay, that's pretty much all I do as I know it. Okay, as I see it. But other than that, I don't really do readings. I'm not a psychic. I don't perform any type of witchcraft, black magic. I don't do tarot card readings. I don't talk to the dead. I don't do any of that stuff. And I think a lot of us is being tested today. And this is something that was shown to me also in the spirit that the Lord is really looking and paying attention to who is actually listening to the words of his prophets versus who is listening to the words of psychics and tarot card readers and workers, of inequity. And I just have to call it how I call it. You guys are really being tested. We are being tested today, and he's really looking at that. He's really looking at that. And you can't, I'm telling you guys, you can't waver. You can't bounce from this person to that person and this you have to have your feet planted on solid ground and you have to stand firm. Do I believe in the most high God? Do I believe in his word? Do I believe in his prophets? And just some people are just all over the place. Like they won't answer so bad to where they all over the place. I'm gonna go to this psychic and see what she say. And I had people send me so many videos and stuff like that from psychics, and I don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not about to partake in a devil's cup. I'm just not about to do it, me myself personally, because I know that we being tested during this time. You guys have to really be careful with that. You have to really be careful with that. Expose unfruitful works of darkness. Exactly. That's what I'm doing. Thank you. Exactly. Antoine. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm exposing unfruitful works of darkness. That's it. But I don't study this stuff to be able to do it. All I have to do is just stay aligned with my Heavenly Father, and He's not going to leave me ignorant. But I don't study this stuff. I don't get off into that stuff. That's what the point I'm trying to prove, you guys, because I don't want y'all to get it twisted and think that I actually practice numbers and I study Kabbalah. That's not what I do at all. Great job, Malika, on your last live presentation on Camille Cupcake McKinney. Awesome work, love. Thank you, John. Glory be to God. Thank you so much. Every time I go into these presentations and doing them, when I first start out, I always feel like I can't do it. I'm like, and I'm telling you, this is something, this conversation that I had with my father, like, I'm not going to be able to do this. My Lord, this is too much. I'm not going to be able to do this. I might go through the first 4 or 5 slides and have just a little bit more confidence. And then I'll get stuck for a minute. And then I'll continue to work for a little bit. And I'm like, well, God, I see you moving. So I guess that you're gonna carry me through it and to the end. And then as I continue to go along, my confidence build a little bit. But you guys, I'm telling y'all, sometimes looking to this stuff, I'll be like, this is so far above my head and my natural knowledge. I'm not gonna be able to do this. But you know what? Sometimes we just have to be bold in our calling and trust the Lord all the time. We should just be bold in our calling and trust in the Lord and just do what He sent us to do. Just do what we know we called to do. And just, leave our hands tied behind our back and understand it's not our own will, but it's His. And that's just what I do. And when I get to the end, I look at myself and I say, wow, you actually did it. Like, I can't believe it. Because I know if it was my own doing, I could not do anything like this. I know it's nothing but the Lord. So I give him all the praise, all the glory. Is definitely not me. He uses me to get the job done. But definitely not me. Definitely not me. Okay, 99. I don't really see what you're saying. They made it look evil to stop you from looking back, but we got the book from the devil. Our book is in stone on the walls. We've been here 4.5 million years. They've been here for 12 days. Okay. No matter what anyone believes, but there is and has always been a war between good and evil, no matter the belief, but good always overcomes evil in the end. Okay. Okay, I'm not disputing that it's always been a war of good and evil. I think that was my point. But you telling me that as far as me going back past scriptures Maybe you are a little bit deeper into it than I am, Black. I haven't went past scriptures because my Bible say in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So I don't go beyond in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you about me over here. But I'm not saying that you don't have some type of insight, some type of knowledge, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. You might have read thousands of books that I haven't even dared to look at and read. Because, like I said, as far as me, everything I need to know about this life that I live and this time and day and age that I live, I have everything I need to know in that book that I read. Okay, and that's all I'm saying. And I don't even need to really like. I feel like it's irrelevant anything that happened before God created the heavens and the earth from what my books say. Just like it's irrelevant. And just so that's good, Malika. It shows you not trusting in the flesh but God. Amen, Antoine. Because I don't, I can't, I can't. Revelation said most people will perish from lack of knowledge. 99, I'm not understand. Are you talking to me or are you talking to Black? Because I'm kind of confused by by both of y'all conversation. Like I don't know if you speaking to me or if you speaking to him. But anyway, I'm active. Can you please say hi to my friend? Her name is Annie Perez. She's a big fan. Hi, Annie. Annie Perez. Hello. Where are you from? I'm Epic. And where's Annie Perez from? Hey, amazing 80. Nice to see you, sister. You are good when God leads you. Thank you, Kimberly. And that's where I would like to stand. Black. Okay, Black, because I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know if y'all talking to me or you talking to Nighty Night. I have no idea. I'm trying to keep up with y'all conversation, but I got a little lost right there. I really just wanted to come on and address any kind of confusion, just for my new subs. Excuse me, y'all know I still got this cold. I've been dealing with this cold for a minute now. This weather just keeps changing up on me. But I want to address any confusions that anybody might have and just make it be known that no, Malika is not into numbers and she's not into Kabbalah, anything wicked or anything like that. Exactly what my brother Antoine Miles said. I am exposing the unfruitful works of evil. And that is our job. That is what we're commissioned to do because I'm on the side of good. I'm on the side of good, and I hate evil. I hate it. Like I don't hate people, I just hate evil. I hate sin. And I'm talking about even if myself was to commit some sin and I knowingly did, I hate it. Like I convict myself. I'd be like, girl, why did you just do that? You know what I'm saying? Like I would really be angry at myself. So I try not to live a sinful life because I would be arguing with myself. I would be angry with myself because I'm a kind of person that I just hate sin. I hate devils. I hate evil. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't hate people. I just hate evil. I hate evil. Look what evil has done to this world. Look what evil has done to us. Look what it's done to our babies. I despise evil. I despise it. And I believe I got that from my father. I believe I got that from my father. And I just, so whew, I'm telling y'all, when y'all get into a place where y'all like, where you can convict yourself, or you can you can start chastising yourself before the father chastise you. I'm telling you, you would be so much better. You would be so much better. I would chastise me before the father even get to it. Okay. So I'm just at a place now where I just try to my best just to live a wholesome, holy life. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm only righteously made through Jesus Christ. But I just try my best just to live a sanctified, holy life, not committing adultery, not, destroying my body, which is the temple of the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not perfect, but because I will sometimes slip up and cuss some people out. And I have to, like I told my people on Facebook, I said, man, I see what the Bible mean about taming the tongue. Like, what man can tame the tongue? Like, that is my biggest challenge is taming my tongue. So sometimes I just rather shut up. Like sometimes I just rather not even talk. For real. When I get upset, I just rather keep my mouth closed. If I get mad, I'd rather go in my car, go take a ride, go take a walk. Because when it comes to taming the tongue, that is my biggest challenge ever. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. So I really get why the Bible said that. What man can tame his tongue? Like, whew. But I practice taming that, just keeping my mouth closed, just keeping it closed as much as I can. You get what I'm saying? That's probably the best way you could tame the tongue, is just shut up. If you anything like me, like, just shut up. I awaken the mind around me. The book will wake you up with more knowledge. Death, you gotta hate evil. Let me see. It's capable of the worst you can imagine. Yes. Oh my God, I hate it. Oh, okay, 99. I thought you was talking to somebody too as well. Oh, you saying you talking to all that's listening? Oh, okay, okay. Well, welcome, night. I keep calling you nighty night, but it's night. What is God's name? Because we all know we do not serve the same God. Um, and it's crazy that we all don't serve the same God, but His name is Jehovah, um, Jireh. His name, I call him Jehovah Jireh a lot because He's my provider. His name is Yahweh. And I know a lot of people want to dispute when it comes to religion, when it comes to spirituality, but because of the way people dispute his name, I call him my Holy Father. I call him I am. Um, and I would want to say, like, he's I am. He's the great I am. And I know some people call him the Most High God, and a lot of people say the Most High, but I think that's a title. But Yahweh, I believe his name is Yahweh because his son name is Yeshua, which means Yah saves. If I'm not mistaken, you guys, like I said, I'm not a Bible scholar, but he has different names. He has different names, but I believe that we still should keep it according to scripture and not make him a name, not create him a name. But like I said, I think that if you get confused with the name, you probably should just address him as your heavenly Father. Because when Jesus taught us how to pray, he told us to pray like this: Our Father who art in heaven. So because there's so much doctrine out there, a lot of false doctrine and stuff out there, I call him by who he is in my life. So the reason why I said Jehovah Jireh, because I acknowledge him as my provider. There's so many different instances where I might say, "Thank you, Jehovah Jireh, my provider." You see what I'm saying? There's so many instances where I may call him by Yahweh. I've called him as Yahweh. But at the same time, I don't call my father, and I'm talking about my earthly father. My earthly father name is Antoine. Antoine, I've got to tell you, my father name is Antoine. But my earthly father name is Antoine. And I don't call my father Antoine. I call him Dad, or I call him Father. I don't call him by his name. So if you guys notice in my relationship with God, when I speak about him, I may say, as far as his title, he is my God. He is, the most high God. You might hear me speak of his title, but I call him my father because I don't really address him by his first name. Like, I don't address my earthly father by his first name. To me, it's disrespectful to call my father and be like, "What's up, Antoine? What you doing?" I don't address my earthly father by his name. So I think when you hear a lot of people arguing back and forth about his first name and all this stuff, I think that's just a tactic of the enemy, because if you address him as your father, then you can't go wrong. And especially, this is how Jesus told you how to pray. He said, "Pray our Father who art in heaven." So that's why whenever you really hear me, I try to address him on live or in front of the world as my father or our father. You see what I'm saying? Because that's just who he is. And to me, it's kind of disrespectful to even call him by his first name. But again, this is just my opinion. I let people argue over stuff that to me is foolishness, that I just kind of feel is foolishness. I see different, um, you have different, let me see. don't know what you want to call them, but I want to say ministers of the gospel. I don't know, but they go back and forth, as to what's his name and what we should call him. Not what's his name, but what should we call him? What do he want to be called? Well, when Moses asked him at the burning bush, what should I call you? Who should I say sent me? He said, I am. And I think that if anything, if he wanted it, a specific name that he wanted to be reverent by, he would have gave Moses that name right then and there. But he told Moses, I am who I am. I am the creator. Then when we hear, coming from Yeshua, he tell us, call him our Father who art in heaven. So I just feel more safe, to just acknowledge him as my Father, our Father. I am. And like I said, if in certain instances, I might say Jehovah, my provider, Jehovah Nisi. I mean, it might be certain names that I would say in a certain situation, but other than that, I just address him as my father. I just address him as my father. Some religions don't believe in one God, or even if there is a God. Some believe God is a woman, so it's each their own. Yeah, especially when you talk about different religions, I can't even get off all into that. I can't even get off into all other religions because I really don't know. I don't even read. I don't practice religion. It might seem like that, when you're a Christian, but I don't. I don't practice religion. I practice relationship. I just practice strengthening my relationship in the Father. I don't really get off into practicing religion. I practice spirituality, and which means to, because the Bible tells us in Joshua 1:8 to meditate on the Word day and night, and you should grow prosperous. And so what I practice is just meditating on the Word day and night, and just growing more um, in my faith in Him and me as a daughter to the Most High. So I don't really get off into different religions and trying to understand different religions and why I'm in the right religion and all that stuff. Like, I just feel like all that stuff is just vanity. Like, it is. Like, God would expose Himself to you. Your Father will expose Himself to you. And He also say, taste and see that the Lord is good. If you taste and see that He is good, and I think from there, you just build your relationship. Just build your relationship from there. And if you know you serve a God that's good and that's holy, practice being good. Practice being holy. Practice perfection. And I know a lot of times we say, well, I'm not perfect. Well, practice being perfect. Practice perfection. I mean, that's all I can really say. But I don't get off into studying other religions or any of that stuff. That's what I want to say. Different names to express his attributes. Exactly. Thanks for helping me out. Thank you. Oh, I know, Lady B. I didn't feel like he was being disrespectful. I didn't feel like he was being disrespectful at all. But it's just hard for me to really speak on this particular topic because you'll have people coming back like if I was to leave this video up, girl, I have people all in my comments like, no, he is supposed to be called because, like you said, it's different attributes, and people want to argue with you because that's what they know him as, or that's what they call him, and that's completely fine. Or you have people from different religions, or different spiritualities, or different denominations, and so I just don't like going back and forth when it comes to stuff like that because I just kind of feel like that's vanity. Like, just address him in his attributes, or just address him as your heavenly Father, as Jesus told us to pray. And that's normally what I try to do to kind of, so I don't hear nothing. Like Jesus on the cross called him Abba, which is Father. And so I'm like, okay, you can't go wrong with Father. Okay, I can't have people jumping on here like he's not called Father. You just can't go wrong with Father. You just can't go wrong with that. But I didn't think we was gonna be talking religion. I thought y'all was gonna have some questions as far as the case and stuff like that. Y'all ain't prepared me for this right here. Some religions already read that. How do you feel about folks that don't believe in God nor speaking of myself, but there are YouTubers that don't and have said so. I don't feel any way about them because I just kind of feel like many are called, a few are chosen, some won't, not everybody will be saved. I feel that it's sad that they don't. I feel like they haven't Either they haven't tasted and seen that his word is good and he is the good father, or either they refusing him because of their own selfish will. They want to they want to accomplish their own will here on earth. And I'm telling you one thing: it takes sacrificing your own flesh to have a relationship with God. It takes giving up your own will to have a relationship with God. And a lot of people don't want to do that. So I just feel that I feel sorry for them. I feel that they will never come to the true understanding of who he is and who they are unless they acknowledge him and they accept his son as their Lord and Savior. I just feel like they doomed. You know, they may be having fun now. Um, they might have a little attention now because of what they doing, but in the end, I just feel like they will wish that they had have submitted themselves, but I don't have anything against them. I don't feel anything against them. I feel sorry for them, Stephanie. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. I really do. I feel sorry for them because they knew the God that I know. If they knew my heavenly father, our heavenly father, I feel like they wouldn't reject him. But at the same time, the Lord had already told us that many will reject him. He told us that. He told me, I had to go into, I have to, a lot of times when I drop a video, what y'all don't know, now let me tell y'all some stuff that y'all don't know about me. Because I'm still walking and I'm still learning and I'm going to always be walking and learning. But one thing y'all don't know about me, whenever I drop a video or after I go live, a lot of times, y'all, I have to go into a place of prayer. Like, I have to seriously go into a secret place of prayer because people come for me so hard, and I'm still learning how to deal with that, still learning how to tame the tongue and all of that. And I'm used to being somebody who was well liked by the world. Okay, so this is me. I'm somebody who had to pull myself out of that, but I'm used to being somebody who was well liked in high school. All the girls like me, all the guys like me. I was just well liked, okay, well liked and well admired and well respected. And I had to go from that to crucifying my flesh and being somebody who may not be is admired and liked and respected or whatever by the world. So the last video that I just dropped, or the last live I just did, I actually had to go into a place of prayer and got on my face, started crying because I just sometimes I have to pour out. Okay, like I have to just pour out to the altar, like Lord, I don't know, because it'd be a lot. It definitely be a lot. I deal with a lot. I deal with a lot when it comes to the comments. I get some crazy emails. It just be a lot. And so the Lord had to remind me. He said, when they hate you, especially knowing that you have done nothing to these people, know that it's because they hated me first. Know they hated me first. So, he have to still kind of, it's like he's still nourishing me and bringing me up more in his word. He letting me know, like, don't take offense to it. They hate you because they first hated me. So I don't really get offended. I try not to get offended by people that just don't understand me or just dislike me. As long as I know I ain't did nothing to you personally, you don't like me because you don't like the God that I serve or the God whom I preach. That's why you don't like me. That's your only reason. So be it. So be it. I'll let him deal with you. I'll just let him deal with you. Hey, Kim. I ain't seen you in a long time, Kim. Hey, Kim. Yes, the fool said in his heart there is no God, and I'm not even going to address that or even deal with that, Antoine, at all. I just let fools be fools. They definitely would not have peace. They might put on the front Stephanie here on YouTube, but they definitely don't have peace in their real life. See, this is the thing too. When I get off here, I have people, I'm surrounded by love and I have peace in my life. The only way my peace is disrupted is if I allow social media to disrupt my peace. But see, this is, I'm not used to being, and I think I've told you guys this plenty of times. I'm more of a person that's always been, like I said, before when I was younger, yeah, I was kind of popular. Everybody liked me. I was known because of my family. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. My family was known in the neighborhood, you know, so, but other than that, as I started growing and I got older and I got married and had children and stuff, I just became more reserved, and I just, was quiet and I didn't really even really deal with my family and stuff like that. I was just more private. I just lived a private life. I moved out of Detroit, and so I just, started being more private. But once I got caught to doing this, and I had to actually open myself to the world and give myself to the world, I was like, oh no, Lord. Like I thought I was done with this phase. I don't like people. I don't want to be I don't want to deal with people. And the Lord was like, no, I did not call you, to be the salt of the earth for you not to be the salt of the earth. You have to step out here, and you gonna have to, because I'd rather do my teach myself behind closed doors and understand all this behind closed doors, and you know what I'm saying, and speak and teach the Bible to my children. But I was like, man, Lord, I was not expecting this right here. I knew you called me, but gosh, like you gonna give me more time to kind of shape it up a little bit first and get some boldness in me first. He was like, I'm calling you right where you are. Right where, just like he stopped Paul in his tracks. You know what I'm saying? That's how he did me. He stopped me in my tracks and called me right where I was at. Some people think that you have to, that God got to wait for you to become this perfect person or get done, get all your flaws and stuff out the way and be clean for 2 years or, no, he stopped me right in my tracks and ended up cleaning me up along the way, but he stopped me in my tracks and when I least expected it. So, whew, something different for me. Hey, Malika, did you hear anything about Malia and Cupcake's death? Or are the people all involved are related in some way? Hold on. No, I didn't never heard that. Yeah, tell me what related. I think if they are related, they probably are related as far as the brotherhood and the sisterhood. You see what I'm saying? Like I just believe that they are all in a secret occult together. And if there's any type of relation to these people, it's just the fact. See, a lot of times when they say that, even when the news put out there that Stallworth and Dominic is not related. Maybe they have no relation as far as, blood ties and what the world can see, but their relation is actually that they are in the same brotherhood. And what do they call them? Antoine Miles, what do they call them? The branches, like the different Masonic branches and things like that. So they can belong to the same Masonic branch, if you guys get what I'm saying. So to the world, no, there is no relationship. There is no relation between them, but they are a part of the same secret organization. They are part of the same branch. So it could be something like that, like but I really don't know as far as when it comes to Craig Davis or Brittany Bowens. I don't know how she is connected to Cupcake them. I don't know, but like I said, if anything, I just think they all are part of the same secret society. They all are part of the same society together, and some may be affiliated with the same branch. Family relation? No, I haven't seen anything about that. The original King James version, at Psalms 83:18, God tells us His personal name, and that's what He wants to be us to use. Call Him Father is not His name, but rather one of His roles. Exactly. And I don't call my father. I don't call my earthly father by his name. That's what I said, Paul. I don't call my earthly father by his name. I just don't. I don't call my father Antoine. I don't call him and say, "Hey, Antoine, what you doing?" I call him Father. But I believe, when the Lord told us to pray, He said to use our Father who art in heaven for a purpose. So when I speak of Him, I call Him my Father. When He was on the cross, He yelled out Abba. Abba means Father. So that's what I address Him as. I address Him as my Father. all for reverential respect and fear. I call him Father. So that is the role he plays in my life, because for me it's not about, um I don't have a religion with him. I have a relationship with him. What is the relationship between me and the creator? He is my father. I am his daughter. So I addresses him as my father based off of our relationship. But when it comes to religion, he has many attributes, and you can call him by his attributes, because I'm sure I don't know exactly what Psalms 83:18 says. If you can drop that in there, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure he didn't say, "My name is I am." But in that moment when he was having a conversation with Moses, when Moses said, "What should I call you?" He said, "I am who I am." So he has many different attributes, and whatever at whatever part he played in your life at that time, I believe you can acknowledge him as that. That's what I said. Like, it's been times where, he's just provided a way and made a way out of no way. And when I didn't see it coming, and I addressed him as Jehovah Jireh because of that. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, in my relationship with him, on a daily basis, I don't just call him, "Hey, my Jehovah." Like, I don't acknowledge him as that. I acknowledge him as my father, because we have a father and daughter relationship. If that makes sense to y'all. Exactly, which means provider. So, because that's the role he would play in my life in that moment. So yeah, I would say that. You know what I'm saying to him. But like I said, I practice having a relationship and a stronger relationship with him. I'm his daughter. He's my father. So I address him as father. And if in the moments where you just have to cry out, where you feel like you just need to cry out to the Lord, I'm always crying out, Father. I feel like Jesus on the cross sometimes, especially when I'm being persecuted. Especially when I'm being persecuted. So y'all just don't see it, but I'm on my face like, "Father, why? Father, what did I do? Father, Father." You see what I'm saying? So I'm just more. I use that more than any other name. And so when I speak to the people, I like to say our Father, because a lot of times you have to remind people that that's who He is in your life just as well. He's just not your God. That's the title. He's also your Father. He's just not the creator. He's your Father. Yes, Father, because everything stems from the Father. I like that. God bless you, Susie Q. God bless you and your family. Amen. You say men and women create. I don't say father no more. Who do you call? So you call the man that created you. What do you call him, Lady B? You just call him a man. You just wake up and say, hey man, what you doing this morning? I was just wondering. What do you call him? Give me a second. I'm listening, looking at y'all comments. Y'all deep. Sometimes y'all are just too smart for your own good. And this is the reason why it's kind of hard for the father to have that close relationship with you, because you obtaining more knowledge than you are strengthening your relationship with him. And he's trying to draw your heart back to him. Because remember, man hearts have grown cold. He's trying to draw your heart back to him. So maybe this is the reason why He chose to use me in the way that he did because when it comes to my heart is filled with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is like, I address him as my father. And that brings on fear, that brings respect, I mean, just like you would have respect and fear for your earthly father, I have that as well for my heavenly father. So I think some of y'all need to practice acknowledging him as Father. As a matter of fact, Lord help me out. Some of y'all need to start practicing. Don't bring the lightness out because I'm in a calm mode. But some of y'all need to actually start practicing acknowledging him as your Father. And maybe he can soften your heart a little bit more and you can grow more in his word and in strengthen your relationship with him. Hallelujah. Because a lot of y'all, you just want to be too smart for your own good. You just want to know it all. You just want to be so smart that you make sense of everything. And the Lord is saying that they so smart, Malika. They just so smart and stuff. But see, he gonna make take the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. So he might take somebody that's foolish to me. I might sound foolish to some of y'all right now, like she talking about calling him father. But it's gonna be the foolish things of the world. It's gonna be people like me who just say, hey, address him as your father, love him as your father, call him your father, just like you would your earthly father. Have respect and fear for him just as you did your earthly father. It's going to take somebody who sounds foolish like me to conform the people that think they wise in all their ways because they read so many books, they know so much stuff. Like, chill with all of that. Chill with all of that. Chill with all of that. I'm sorry, but chill with all of that. Like, I'm about to sit up now. Y'all got me on one. Seriously, chill with all of that. Chill with all of that. For real. Like that, just chill with all of that. Like Jesus made it simple. He said when you pray, pray our Father who art in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes y'all just want to have so much wisdom and be so wise that all y'all getting is a knowledge from the world. You're just getting worldly knowledge. That's all you doing is just building yourself up with worldly knowledge. At the end of the day, it's gonna be meaningless. It's not gonna mean anything. It's not gonna mean nothing. He's trying to draw your heart back to him. He wants your heart. Your mind is already full. Your mind is full with all type of scholars, all type of he don't care about all of that. I'm telling you right now, he don't care about all. He don't care about how smart you are, how educated you are. He don't care about all that stuff. He gonna take the foolish things of the world. Some of y'all are too smart for me when it comes. Now that's the reason why I don't really have religious conversations. Is because sometimes you have people that who believe that they religious scholars want to come up against you, and I'm not. I don't never claim to be a religious scholar. I just have a close relationship with my father, and I do as he say, as I would my earthly father. You see what I'm saying? As a child, I submitted to my earthly father. Whatever my earthly father asked me to do, I try to respect him. I try to do what he told me to do, not talk back to him, not question him, not talk back, just do what he told me to do. My earthly father, I had a real close relationship with my earthly father. So it really just kind of converted over to my relationship. It was easy for me to see my God as my father because I already grew up having a respect for my earthly father and understanding how to, you know what I'm saying, just how to have respect and fear for my earthly father. So it was really nothing, and like I said, you can get all the wisdom all you want. You can read thousands and thousands of books, but none of that stuff really matters to him, y'all. It don't. It don't. Some people that read the Bible 100 times and still don't have a profound meaning, still don't understand half of what was really being said in that Bible. I mean, seriously, like I know some people who claim to be Bible scholars and still don't have real wisdom from the Lord, still don't really know anything. They can teach it to you, but they're not teaching you the true origins of Christianity. They're not teaching you how to really have a relationship with the Father or what he even meant when he's talking about building his church. They have no idea. They just teaching you from a book. They have no idea of the real living, breathing word. Like seriously. And I don't know. That's why I don't do a lot of churches. I don't go. No, I don't do that, man. I don't. I don't. You won't just catch me in some of anybody church. I don't do that. Yes, the truth is so simple, Antoine Miles. It's so simple, but people want to, over exaggerate when it comes to it and stuff like that. And I don't even think you know what I'm saying? Like he not smiling upon you because you the smartest of the bunch, you the wisest of the bunch. Like, come on now. You definitely have to open your heart to him, and it's a choice. Hey, Trudy. Hey, Trudy. Hey, Alice. Yeah, see, and that's crazy, Stephanie. Some people are more concerned about the unknown, what their eyes can't see, than they can't believe. But that goes back to what you said about a relationship. Exactly, Stephanie. See, I don't walk by sight. I walk by faith. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause if I walk by sight, I'll be just as lost as most of these people in this world, and I'll be deceived like everybody else in this world. I don't walk by sight. I don't have to see certain things. All I have to do is believe it. He said it and he meant it, and that's what it is because I have that relationship with him. I didn't question my dad and I'm gonna say my dad when I'm talking about my earthly father. I didn't question my dad when he used to say, um, "Look both ways before you cross the street," or if you go to the store, be careful. It's a man out here lurking and trying to kidnap kids. I didn't go out there looking for the lurking man. What did he look like, Dad? I want to know what the man that's out here kidnapping kids, what he look like, what his hair look like, what kind of coat he wearing. I didn't question him, and I didn't go out there looking for it. I believed in his word, and I walked accordingly. I walked carefully to the store. And I had faith that my father knew what he was talking about and he was going to protect me because I did exactly what he said, which was walk carefully to the store. That's all. You see what I'm saying? Like people is making too much of it. Like that's why children know how to worship God better than adults do. Some adults do because adults be trying to see too much. They be trying to know too much. The Lord said, if I said it, I meant it. You ain't got to go out there and search for it, look for it. Just believe it. Just believe it. And that's that. The spirit has to reveal the mysteries of God. Exactly, D. Exactly. And that's what it is. Like, as I look into these cases and things like that, I just pray the spirit reveal it to me and then I lay it out. You see what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. I don't go looking into other books. I don't, study the Kabbalah. I don't study geometry. I don't look into none of that stuff. I just pray and because he already predestined my destiny. He already predestined. Those that he called and he chose, he already predestined your destiny. He already saw your decision and he already outlaid a destiny before you. So he already knew that I was going to accept his call and he already knew I was going to come to a place of submission. So all I have to do now is ask for the information and it's given to me. It's just that simple. I'm sorry if I'm making things sound too simple to everybody, but seriously, try to simple and stop trying to be a Bible scholar just for once. And I bet you, and just try to build your relationship and not trying to keep stacking your religion and trying to get your degree in religion. And I bet you would have a better relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I bet you would actually learn more because without him, I'm ignorant. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. It's his spirit that reveals to me. Yes, kingdom of God as a child depend on God for everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I haven't really looked into that case, John. I haven't really looked into that case. I've seen it. I watched the video on it, but I haven't personally looked into that case because I was, when I'm working on one thing, I'm really focused on that one thing that I'm working on. So that might be something that I might consider looking into next. But what's going on with the case as of right now? I know the guy was arrested. Is there a trial going on? Have you been charged for the murder? Like, what's going on? So I can kind of maybe pray on it and see if it's something that I should actually do and work on next. But I do plan on working with, if she would have me to work with her. And y'all, I had an idea, and I was gonna actually present this idea today. And I want to get some feedback from y'all. I want y'all to tell me how it sounds. I wasn't gonna actually put it out there because I didn't want nobody to take my idea and run with it. But at the end of the day, if somebody can actually make this happen, I don't have to have the credit for it. I don't care because I feel like what God has for me is for me. So, but anyway, I have an idea. Let me see if I should speak on it. I don't know. Let me just wait. Let me just wait for confirmation before I speak on it. After Jesus returned to the heavens, he left his apostles to continue to preach about the kingdom of God to establish Christianity. That was when Christianity was pure until it gradually became corrupt. Yes, I definitely agree, Paul. I like your name. I definitely agree. Thank you, Serena. Bless you. Bless you, love. Kanisha, you ain't late for nothing. I'm just sitting here talking to everybody. We were supposed to have Jackie on today, but we had to reschedule her. So I said, well, let me come in real quick and do a quick Q&A. But everybody asking me questions on religion, and I'm like, I'm not a religious scholar. I just have a relationship with my father, and I really can't answer a lot of questions when it comes to religion. Now, what Paul just mentioned, that I do know, it was around the time of Constantine became an emperor, and the Roman Empire, took over Christianity. It became wicked and it became corrupt. So I do have some type of background knowledge on it. I do understand that. So that's why I can say, yeah, what he said is actually the truth. um, because I do believe that it did become corrupt. After that, I'm not a follower of the Roman Empire, and the Roman Christianity beliefs or doctrine, should I say. I'm not a follower of that. I don't believe that we should be worshiping Hail Mary. I don't believe that. Me myself personally, I know it's a lot of debates about should you worship on a Sunday or should you worship on a Saturday or whatever. But my whole thing is you should worship 7 days a week. You should worship God 7 days a week. I don't just use Sunday as a day of worship. I think that that's a deception. I worship God every day. Like I literally worship Him every day. I mean, I don't care if I'm riding to the car. I mean, riding to the grocery store in my car. I'm listening to some music where I'm in the car worshiping Him on my way to the grocery store, and it could be on a Tuesday night. Like I don't care. I worship Him 7 days a week. And the days I rest is the days that I have to just enter into His rest. When I'm just tired from my work. Yeah, God rested on the Sabbath day. But for me, the Sabbath day can really be any day, like, that I feel like I need rest. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't, like I said, I don't really stick with, or I'm going to say, I don't really practice a lot of the religious traditions. I know some people might scold me for this, but I really don't care. That's just not what I do. Just like when they said, well, Jesus, you're not, according to the book of Moses, you're not supposed to be healing on the Sabbath, or you're not supposed to be, but see, he said, I am the Sabbath. So because I am the salt of the earth, I can actually say that. I can work till I get tired and just need to step into his rest. You see what I'm saying? Because I am his daughter. So I can work 15 days a week. And then when I get tired, I step into his rest and he cover me. So that's where I'm at with that. Christianity really reached its highest. I like the questions though. I do like the conversation, but I'm not going to even pretend to have all the answers because, like I said, I just have a spiritual relationship with my father. And that's just that. Christianity really reached its highest state of corruption when Catholic Church came into existence. Yes, Paul. Yes. He said, speak on the girl. What's your question, Micah? Nika, I'm sorry. Most I said every day, all day, no matter what, we're to give thanks no matter. Exactly, Serena, and that's what I do. So I don't even argue with people, because to me, people want to just argue doctrine and things like that, and they have no idea that the Bible tells us that Christ, he was the ultimate sacrifice. He was the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. And so what you should be doing now instead of trying to practice religion is really just practice relationship and growing your relationship, with Christ and get closer to the Father. You see what I'm saying? It's like, to me, that's what you should be doing. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with people. If you believe that that you can't worship on a Sunday, that you can only worship on a Saturday, then that's you. I'm not gonna argue with people when it comes to stuff like that because I just do what it is I do. I worship 7 days a week. I just don't go inside a temple, a building that I feel like fellowshippers are not ushering in the true presence of the Holy Spirit. I won't be caught in those places. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I worship on the Sunday, sweetheart. Sure do. I sure do, just like I would a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday. Sure do. That's how I grow more, and I kind of tighten up our relationship. I'm so sorry to hear that, Miss C. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm going through some stuff where my grandmother is really ill. My grandmother is really, really ill, and of course, everybody is not promised tomorrow, and we have to, at some point say goodbye to our loved ones, especially when they up there in age. But I think this, losing her would be definitely hard for me because she's always been like a mother. I was raised by my grandmother, y'all. I was raised by both my grandmothers. My parents was in my life, but my mother was a drug addict and my father sold drugs. So my parents met based off of my father being a drug dealer. I'm sorry, my father was a drug dealer and my mother was a drug addict. That's how my parents met. So yeah, my father slept with my mother probably for some drugs. I don't know. Probably to get some money. I don't know. What? How did that even connect? But they ended up connecting. But anyway, so I'm a product of my father being a drug dealer, my mother being a drug addict. And so my grandmothers raised me. My father was always in the street. My mother was always in the street. So I've been raised by both my grandparents, my mother's mother and my father's mother. So I'm really close to my grandmother. My other one is gone now. So man, grief is real, and losing your loved one like that is real. That's why I don't understand why people say, there's 7 levels to grief, and grief is real. Like seriously, like when people really grieving, it's like their heart has been broken, their spirit has been shaken. Like it's an awful feeling. So my prayers is definitely with you because I can't imagine. Like I said, if I lose my grandmother, it'd be like losing my mother, and that's something that's really hard, and I can't even fathom right now. My son is gay, and he asked me if God doesn't like him. Whew. Tell him it's not that God don't like him, but God don't like sin. God is a holy God, and he hates sin. And so, God loves him, and that's the reason why he wants better for him. He want him to he want to see him one day. He want him to meet him one day. You see what I'm saying? He want him to have a abundant life. He want him to have a glorified life. But in order for him to do so, he has to get rid of sin. And I don't care if he was sleeping with a woman, or messing around with a woman that he shouldn't be messing around with. If he's not married to that woman, that's still a sin. So sometimes we have to just preach sin to our children and just let our children know it's not that God hates you, it's just the fact that God hates sin. He is the opposite of sin. And so in order for us to have that relationship with the Father, we have to get rid of that sin, or at least, pray and ask God to deliver us from that sin. We have to be able to identify what that sin is in our life, because to each his own. We all got our own different battles that we dealing with. You see what I'm saying? So we all have to identify what that thing is that's kind of in between us and our relationship with God, and we gotta get that thing off of us. We got to get that thing off of us. So it's not the fact that God hates him, no, but God hates sin because he knows that he didn't create us for us to be sinful creatures. He didn't create Adam and Eve for them to. He created them to live in paradise and for them to one day, for them to never die. For them, they were supposed to live forever. But sin is of Satan. He is the creator of sin. So sin is evil. And so we all have our own battles and stuff, and we have to identify what that thing is, what that sin is that's keeping us further away from heaven, further away from having a relationship with our Father. And we have to, battle against that thing and try to get rid of that thing so that thing cannot hinder us from where God is calling us to go. So I would kind of like, that's what I kind of teach to my children. I teach to them what's sinful to the Lord and what the Lord, don't like. And so teaching them that early on, hopefully, they understand when they get to that place of decisions, they have to, remind themselves like, nope, I can't do this. God don't like that, so. Yeah, Paul, that's what I'm saying. That's definitely a sin. So as Nika, what I would suggest too, as your job as a mother, is to teach him the word, teach him the true word of God. Teach him that that God is just against sin, and this is a sinful nature. This is something that's sinful to God. It's an unnatural relationship. And if you teaches him that, and point that out to him, you know, maybe he might not make a decision now. You might have to constantly pray for him, constantly speak the word into him. But hopefully he'll make that decision and choose God and choose what's righteous and not what's sinful. It's scheduled for, I can't even think to pronounce his name, John. But he's scheduled for December the 4th, 2019 to go in front of a grand jury. The judge ordered a DNA test on Yazid regarding him kidnapping Anaya and forcing her into the car on October 20th. John, are you going to do a live or a video on her, on that case? I would like to see it because I know you would bring it. And I don't watch everybody because you have some YouTubers that just report stories, and you got other YouTubers that do in-depth studies and get to looking into stories. So if this is something that you decide to look into and do, I would definitely tune in and watch and trust your work. But it's so they so far into everything. I don't know if I would actually go off into that case right there. I don't know if I'm missing what anybody is saying. Yes, my mom was 67. We have to be strong. I know that's right, Misty. I know that's right. I had a pretty young grandmother growing up because my mother was 15 when she had me. My father was 16. So my grandmother was probably about in a 40s or something, or 30s maybe when I was born. So I had young grandmother. And when my grandmother started aging, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, because I'm so used to having young grandmothers. Like my daddy mama is so jazzy. It don't make no sense. My daddy mama was wearing Louis Vuitton and stuff at 50 something. She wearing, you see her out there in some Louis Vuitton slippers and a Louis Vuitton shirt. So I couldn't imagine. I mean, I'm just watching them grow older, and it was just like, wow. One day I'm gonna have to say goodbye, and now she's just getting thicker and thicker, and it really touches my heart. But at the same time, I think God is constantly molding me, so when He do take her, I will be at a place of understanding. I will be at a place where I can say, where I can still, let me see. Well, I would grieve. I would definitely grieve, but I would be at a place where how the Bible say weeping may endure for a night, but joy come in the morning. I would definitely be at a place where I can weep, but at the same time I can still find joy in my heart and joy for the Lord because He have molded me up into that point. So I could definitely see Him working on me at the same time as at the same time as her, battling with her health and stuff like that. But y'all keep her mother and my grandmother in prayer. And I just tell them to just save a seat for me. Most definitely. But John, there's so many stories out there that I want to look into and stuff. But that's why I just like to be led to what to look into and what to speak on because stuff is happening every day. And I know what story he calling me to because it stick out to me. Like I can just read the first paragraph or two and I'm like, oh, this is something I need to work on. Everything just starts sticking out to me. I see symbolism within the first paragraph. Within the first paragraph. And so I know that yep, this story needs to be exposed. It's not exactly what they say it is. I'm so sick, y'all. I'm sorry. Hey, all in the name. Malika, have y'all got any new updates on KJ? You know what, Trudy? Crazy part is, Trudy, I was working on my video for KJ Part 2. I was working on that right before I started working on Cupcake presentation. And I had to remove some stuff so I could have some space because I was using my phone. And I literally deleted the whole thing, the whole video that I was working on. I wasn't finished with it, but I still had like over half done. And I ended up deleting the whole video. And I didn't do it on intentionally. I accidentally deleted it, not really paying attention to the title. I was just going and deleting some videos that was just incomplete so I could save some space. And that ended up being one of them. So after I deleted that video, I got a little discouraged. Just to be honest with you, I got a little discouraged. Like I'm not about to start this right away. I'm not about to put all that stuff back together again. I got a little discouraged, but I think I am going to probably do one more video on Kanika like a part two, and maybe on her birthday, on her the day that she died, when we have like her memorial celebrations and things like that, I might drop some content and stuff on those particular days. But I had to kind of continue to move forward and not just be stuck in that case right there because I just felt like other cases also needed my knowledge. And so, but yeah, I was working on a presentation, not a presentation, but a video, my part two to the other video that I did. And I ended up accidentally deleting the whole video. So when God gives me the grace and the strength to start over, I will do just that, should I say, because I haven't had it yet. I was so mad at myself for deleting it. I was so mad at myself for deleting that video. I was like, girl, you're not about to start this all over again. Not right now. And then I just went on and flipped on over to the cupcake presentation and started working on that. Hey, Sakina. Hey, Miss Thorogood. Sandra Love. Much love to you, Malika, in the chat room, and everybody in this chat room. I'll catch up with you all. Okay, yeah, John, before you go, if you can, answer the question, too, and kind of fill us in as far as where we are with coming together with this package and everything. Like, have you had any other YouTubers to reach out to you? Let me know if you're still on here, John. But I would love to know have any other YouTubers reached out to you because I haven't been able to talk to you in a minute. But I would love to know if they reached out to you in far as their participation in we're putting together this FBI package. And what do you feel about that? Quite an inspiration, Antoine Miles. You always bring me confirmation. You always bring me confirmation. Sakina, what's been going on, love? How you been? Keep reminding me of grandma my prayers as well as everyone in the world. I pray that all evil in this world goes away soon so we can all live in peace. But I will have to go. Bye, Mika. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna be getting off soon. I'm going to be getting off soon. Let me tell y'all where I think I'm going from here. So I am going to. I have been in contact with Kendrick Johnson's mom. I have spoken with her behind the scenes a couple times. And I want to, if she gives me approval, I want to look into his. I want to get all the information I can get from her. So, and then maybe I can have John to help me out. Maybe a couple more people can kind of help me out. We could do this thing together. But she's so y'all, she's so proactive in her son and trying to get justice for her son. Sakina, maybe you can even help me out with it. If you all, who all want to, I'm gonna try to get all the information that I can get from her. As far as she had three autopsies done on her son, and the last autopsy came back that it was not an accident, a non-accidental death. So if I can get all the information from her, all the autopsy reports, the video footage that they had of him inside the gymnasium, if we can get all the information from her, maybe we can also help her out a little bit and try to look into this case and kind of, bring her more answers and stuff like that. But she's not operating as if she's under a gag order. She's willing to talk to anybody who will listen about her son. Okay. She's out there in the streets about her son and about getting justice for her son. So I want to be able to do a live interview so she can be able to come on and talk to everybody. But we have talked a couple times behind the scenes, and so maybe after the holiday and stuff, she'll be willing to come on and speak to everybody and kind of give us all some insights into her son, Kendrick Johnson. But I know I want to kind of work with her behind the scenes and see if there's anything that we can help pull out. Um, because one thing that I think that she don't really have the answer to is whether this was something that just happened spare the moment, or whether this was something that was planned out, thoroughly planned out. And I think I might be able to bring at least that part, that much to the table, if nothing else. So I definitely want to work with Kendrick Johnson's mom behind the scenes. And but as of right now, as far as cases and things like that, I really don't know. Yes, the content creators list is almost done. I will give you an update on it over the weekend, love. Okay, cool, cool. He got the love ass for you, Sakina. I didn't seen that. I'm working on part 9 regarding Rosemont PD and the Crown Plaza who colluded together to change the narrative from a homicide to accidental death story. Okay, I can't wait till that come out. You can't wait for this for the Kendrick Johnson work two flow two. You this thing with Cuphead Camille is so tricky because these projects seem to have a lot of little kids just running around. Looks like it would be easy to grab a kid, but then I can see all these things. I see the theories living in Birmingham. You can see what I mean. Yeah, I mean that's normally how the projects are, but at the same time, the projects are a community itself. And a lot of times you feel that your child is kind of safe running around in the projects because, everybody in a project, everybody in that small community know one another. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time you don't feel in fear of your child. Hold on. Hold on, let me see who this is. I get all these strange calls. But anyway, and so I can definitely understand, why people would say it's easy to snatch a child because kids do just run around and play all the time. But at the same time, you would think it had to be somebody that got a lot of boldness in them to just go to the hood and just snatch, especially hood they not from, and just snatch somebody's child. Because normally you got people. I mean, it's like a community where everybody is. Kind of looking out for each other, and everybody sees something. You know what I'm saying? And they might not snitch or tell, but it's like a community where everybody is out and everybody see what's going on in the hood. And so it's like, dang, you have to have a lot of boldness to just go to the project and snatch somebody up, somebody's child. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I can't wait for it either, work to flow to, because I don't know too much about the Kendrick Johnson case. I only know, what we all know. And I told myself I wasn't gonna do any, big research until I really just like get everything from his mom. Because why would I just look stuff up on Google when I can get the truth and the real information from her? What disturbing things, Stephanie? I haven't heard any updates on other channels about Cupcake. I really haven't. Yeah, you're right. Not all the projects, but like I said, I'm from Detroit, so I can only really speak on the projects that I'm from, the hood that I'm from. Like they real territorial where I'm from, and you not about to just come into their territory, selling drugs, acting a fool, snatching children. Like you might, it have been some drive-bys, but notice I said drive-bys, where they would drive in, shoot, and drive right on out. But you ain't about to just be on foot, being a, you know what I'm saying, just a stranger. Because in the hood where I'm from, they very territorial, and they want to know who is anybody. Like if you don't look familiar, they want to know who you are, like who you are, blood, coming up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's gonna be some people that's gonna be able to speak up and identify, like, oh yeah, dude came up in here looking real weird. He had on a red shirt, black pants, da da da. Because where I'm from, my neighborhood, they so territorial. They watching out. Like they know who is coming up in there who ain't from there. They know. So, but like I said, maybe not everywhere because I can't say how it is in Birmingham projects. I've never been there. Look at these little trolls. Are you a troll? Or are you asking me a real question? Do I play video games? I don't. I don't. I used to play Grand Theft Auto, but no, I don't. Do I own a license? Nope. Don't have a license. And nothing. Nope. Sure don't. You'll never go looking me up. Nope. When a new car drive through, people can be on the lookout. Yeah, like in my neighborhood, my old neighborhood, they used to be on the lookout when new cars come driving through. New people that come through and they don't know who they are. Like they was very territorial of our neighborhood. Do you like? Yeah, I used to play it. Are y'all two? Y'all are real silly to me. Are y'all together? And what is your point of asking me? Do I play games and stuff? Now I know it's my time to go. It's time for me to go, y'all. I just don't see the point in them asking me these questions right here. But anyway, I just wanted to drop through in case anybody had any real questions for me pertaining to the last video that I just did. I know I had to rush through the end of that video. And I didn't expect it to be as long as it was. Yeah, that video was like almost 4 hours long. But when I went to my other presentation, I said, dang, my Kiera Cole's presentation was 4 hours long. So I should have known it was around that time. It was going to take, around that time frame. But I didn't actually give myself enough time to go through everything and really talk to y'all, especially when it came to the end, because it was so much that I really wanted to say. Because I do believe that Patrick, just looking at Patrick old Facebook pictures and stuff like that, I really do believe that he was like heavy off into masonry and he just ended up falling into a deep low. I just feel like he went from being a probably a dope dealer to a dope head. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying not to say it in a horrible way, but at the same time, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. So I really did want to kind of speak on that the end a little bit more, but I was actually in a hurry. So I'm like, okay, let me make sure that just by reading these comments, nobody is confused about who I am and what work that I do. All my new people, because no, I do not. get off into all of that evil stuff. I don't get off into gematria. I don't get off into Kabbalah. I don't. I just have some knowledge of it to where when I see it being performed, I'm able to call it out. Okay. And so I wanted to make sure that was clear with everybody. I'm not planning on leaving this video up. It was just really Malika calling through, saying what's up to everybody, chatting with y'all for a minute, and letting y'all know that the lab that I really had scheduled today is going to be rescheduled. But we will get Jackie Johnson in here. We will get Kendrick Johnson mom in here, and we will be able to allow her to speak on her son's case. We couldn't do it today, but we're going to get her on real soon. We'll get her on real soon. Gobble gobble. It's sad that kids can't go out and play without being snatched and killed or sold into sex slavery. This world is so evil nowadays. We used to play outside all day. That's the old days. Remember, Trudy? Remember I was telling you about the old versus the new? And I've seen people that have said, we are supposed to be the village that raised the neighbors. They're supposed to be like a village raising like that was back in the day where it took a whole neighborhood to be a village. That was back in the day. It's not like that no more. This is the whole new era. This is the whole new time. Don't you let your child outside by your child self and thinking that the neighborhood gonna raise your child because y'all are a village. No, no, no. I don't. Back in the day, my principal used to have a paddle under his desk. And he was drop me a one if anybody ever been paddled in school, or if anybody, not principal, but teachers had paddles. Teachers and principals had paddles. Drop me a one if anybody know about this, because maybe it was just in Detroit schools, but our teachers had paddles. And don't y'all know that there was a time from we actually experienced the shift from the time the teacher was actually able to paddle you and straighten you out to your teacher better not lay a hand on my child. We experienced the shift, okay? Because I remember, so I've never got paddled, but I remember some boys in my classroom getting paddled because our teacher, he really just paddled the boys. He would never paddle the girls, but I remember a few boys in my classroom getting paddled. But we experienced the shift from, because at first the parents was okay with that. I remember one of the guys that got paddled in our classroom, his mama came up there and she actually thanked the teacher for paddling him. Was like, thank you for straightening his little butt out. But we went from that to a new time where it was like, you better not lay no hands on my child. You better not put your hands, you better not think about paddling my child. You see what I'm saying? So time is rotating, time has changed. We can't keep looking at the old as if it's just still a time of the old. No, the old is past and gone. No longer should you allow your neighbors and people down the street from you to raise your child. I don't even allow, excuse me, I'm about to say this. I don't even allow certain people to speak into my child's life. And I'm talking about family, close family. Like if I see my daughter and maybe one of her cousins, her big cousins over there in the corner, I want to know what y'all talking about. What you talking to my daughter about? Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Keep it 1,000 with y'all. I don't even allow her grandmother, my mother, to just speak into my child's life. I'm serious, without me knowing exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just really protective of my children and who's speaking into their life and who watching over them and who keeping them. Like I just don't allow that. So you talking about a neighbor or a stranger? Yeah, right. We live in a whole new day and age, a whole new time. Yeah, right. Her name is SP Nugget. Oh, I have seen SP Nugget channel before. I have seen it came up on my timeline before. Yeah, she does really good work. But I haven't seen that latest video about Dominic. I'll look it up. Yes, and then you got your butt beat when you went home. Will shop teacher had 2x4. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Those days are so done. The parents is not about to allow you to whip their child. We are not living in those times no more, y'all. We is not living in those times no more. So when your child is outside playing, yes, you have to keep a watch out on your child. You have to know who that neighbor is. Like I don't know my neighbors personally, but you know, I'm just always watching my children. Like I always got my eyes on my kids. I'm the only parent that literally take my daughter to the bus stop and sit there and wait till the bus pull up. And she's 12. And it might sound crazy to some people, like your child is in middle school. Why you taking her to the bus? Because the other kids just standing at the bus stop, but I'm there with her. I trust no one. I mean, but God. So I don't know. And it's not the fact that I don't believe that God, is going to shelter my babies and that my babies is protected because I definitely believe that. But, some things we have to just use wisdom, the wisdom that the good Lord gave us. And so trusting any and everybody around yours, I wouldn't do that. Like I said, I don't allow because, and I had to teach myself this because, my daughter, when my daughter became, like 16 in her little upper teen years, 16. I remember letting her stay the weekend with her grandmother. And I didn't allow, I think she was about 16 or maybe even 17. I don't know. But I didn't allow my daughter to watch certain things on TV, not at home. Mm-mm. She in college now, so what she do, I don't know. But I didn't allow her to watch certain things at home. And I remember I think she was 16, my 16-year-old came home after staying with her grandmother and was like, her grandmother went to the movies. And I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. What y'all go see? And she was like, Girls Trip. And I was like, Girls Trip. Now, I seen the previews of Girls Trip, but I didn't really know what Girls Trip was about, like that. And I was like, oh, okay. But, my man thinking like, ain't that an adult movie? A movie that you would go see with your girlfriends and not with your granddaughter? So finally, Girls Trip ended up coming on. I think it came on TV or on demand or something like that. So I told my husband, I said, let's watch this because, our daughter seen it with her grandmother, and I want to know what she was actually watching while she was in the theater. Man, I watched Girls Trip, and I couldn't, like, I was so embarrassed just sitting there watching it. I was like, I cannot believe my mother exposed my 16-year-old daughter to all of this crap. Like, and I just call it crap because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, one woman was in a healthy, stable relationship and, speaking about marriage and, waiting, to waiting till you get married to have sex. And, it was just like filthy. Like, and I just couldn't believe my mother exposed my 16-year-old to this. So I was so upset. I was so upset, but it taught me a lesson. Like, be careful. Don't just let anybody spend time with your child and speak into your child's life. You can't do that because everybody is not where you are, and they may not continue the work that you do. When your child is in a presence. So I'm like, I've been grooming my girls into being a woman, a young lady, and a woman that's a noble character, a woman that can be respected. And so I'm like, watching a film like this that really promote premarital sex and promote being promiscuous and stuff like that. I'm like, that goes against everything that I teach them, and I tell them that's actually acceptable. And so it kind of upset me that my mother would expose her to that type of movie. And so at that point, I said, I'm just gonna, I taught myself a lesson. I had a conversation with my mother. I let my mother know that I didn't appreciate that, and I don't let her watch certain things like that. And so after that, like I said, it just really taught me a lesson. Like, so my mother know as of now what I expect when she do have her granddaughter. So it's not to say I don't let her spend time with her grandmother. It's just that sometimes you have to put your foot down and be like, hey, I know how you raised me. You did your job when it came to raising me, and I had to get a lot of filth out of me. But let's try to avoid her having to go through some of the same experiences and trials and tribulations that I went through growing up. So let's not, put all that filth and stuff in her. Let's try to, raise her a little bit differently. So sometimes you have to have those conversations with even people you love, and put your foot down, let them know, like, no. So I'm really precautious about who I let, you know, be around my children and speaking to my children. Like, no, mm-mm. No, no, no. The Lord help you. Yeah, see, the Lord help me with my kids too, all day, all day. I couldn't do it by myself. I take my niece to the bus stop and she's 60. I know that's right, D. I know that's right. I'm right there with my daughter until the bus pull up. Okay. Because I'm like, that's a, you do have you do have stories that mysteriously happen, like with Kendrick Johnson case. Like I said, I looked at the Kendrick Johnson case as far as the story, just the narrative. And I didn't see anything that really stood out to me as if this was, a program plan agenda, anything like that. But to be able to get a phone call saying that your child was in a gymnasium, your child body was found dead in a gymnasium. Like that's just a mystery to me. Like that would be so devastating to me. And things like that do happen. And I don't ever want to get a phone call saying, "Oh, she was last seen at the bus stop waiting on the bus." You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, y'all have to tell me more than that. Because I'm knocking on everybody's door that live by the bus stop. I'm checking the bus driver. I'm gonna be at the bus driver door every day until he tell me what he know. I'm just one of them crazy lunatic moms. So I'm like, to avoid a mysterious situation, that nobody can help me figure out. I'd rather be there. I'd rather be there. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. Cause I'll be crazy. I'm crazy, mama. I'm crazy. Like ain't nobody gonna tell me it's 7 steps to grief or grieving because y'all know I'm at the fool. If anything happens to Malika, I'm telling y'all ahead. If anybody that I love, I will be on the news acting a fool. Yes, I would not know how to be professional. I would not know how to keep calm. I will be acting a fool. Y'all will see me literally kicking down doors and trying to get some answers. I mean, seriously, because I love man so much, and I couldn't imagine. I mean, I asked about your political beliefs and about the things that is going on in this world. Ooh, politics and religion. When it comes to politics and religion, Sandra, what I do believe, I believe Trump is in office because it was planned out this way. I believe nothing happens by chance, and I respect God's decision when he makes a decision, when he makes the call. You know what I'm saying? Like we know Solomon was evil, he was wicked. And not Solomon, what's his name? What are y'all, what's his name? The one that David took over for. Who was his name? Saul. His name was Saul. I know. So we all know that Saul was wicked, evil, or whatever. And we also know that Saul was the people's choice. The people chose Saul, right? The people chose to put Saul in position and make Saul king. That wasn't God's choice. That was the people's choice. God's choice is David. David was somebody that the people probably wouldn't have chose because they felt like he was too young, too immature. He wasn't, he wasn't. He was too inexperienced to be a king. So instead of me going along with the people, because to me the people don't always make wise decisions, I try to go along with what God, what He say. You see what I'm saying? Because I kind of feel with Him, He know what He doing, and He know why He might have put that person in position, or why He allowed the people to make the decision that He made. So as of right now, I feel like as far as politics, I feel like Trump is in office for a purpose. And I really do appreciate a lot of the work that he done, and a lot of people, the people of the world, once again, don't agree with, as far as him building a wall and things like that. What people don't understand is just a lot of sex trafficking going on from Mexico to the United States and vice versa. And so I appreciated when he exposed the whole Pizzagate thing and Hillary Clinton and the emails, and even exposing Barack Obama's participation in it and different things that people didn't, that our eyes wasn't open to. So I appreciated those certain things. Not saying that I'm really a supporter, a proud supporter, a believer in him, but I believe that what God is doing with him was prophesied and it was meant to happen, especially during this time right here, because you will have a lot of people such as me who wouldn't know anything about Pizzagate, who wouldn't even know anything about sex trafficking and human trafficking if it wasn't for people that's in position and that's actually being exposed. So him being, I'm trying to impeach him. They've been trying to impeach him because Trump is the kind of person that can't really be controlled. So I kind of feel like, even if he is an Illuminati, he won't be an Illuminati puppet. He's not a good puppet. He's one of them people that can't really be controlled. And so I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, thank you, Jesus. You got us somebody in office right now who's not a good puppet. So they want to impeach him because he's not a good puppet. and he speak on what he feel like he need to speak, is what he's thinking, is what the people think, but really he's speaking what God is making him speak, is forcing out for the whole world to actually be enlightened by some of the things that's going on and been kept in darkness for a long time. And I believe that he's finishing the work that even JFK started. JFK wanted to expose a lot of these different elite groups and things that was going on in secret, but they assassinated him, and from my understanding, they tried to assassinate Trump a few times, but they didn't succeed. They had set it up to where they actually assassinated him, but they didn't succeed. So I just feel like his name Trump for a reason, for a purpose. He might be the last trumpet that was blown to wake everybody up. And what is he doing while he in office? He waking everybody up. I can definitely say that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that everything that's happening is happening for a purpose, and I just stand on the side of God, and whatever he say is right. That's what's right. However he see it, even if I don't understand it, I just trust in whatever it is that he's doing. And I just think that everything is happening and going according to God's perfect will. If that helps you a little bit. He might get exposed for a lot too, but see, he might just be that person that's being used right now by God to get him to expose them, and then his time might come. You see what I'm saying? So I'm really just all for what God say. I'm not saying he won't get exposed, but I believe that the biggest sex traffickers, and who that I believe that's responsible for that stuff, I believe is Bill and Hillary. And so I believe that people like them got to be taken down. I believe it's other people that that sit in office that need to be taken down. And we see a lot of these people being arrested for pedophilia. A lot of people being arrested for pedophilia. So I believe that these people are going to be taken down first, and then finally the king might fall. You see what I'm saying? Then God might say checkmate, and then he might fall too. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like it takes somebody like Trump who had that boldness to bring down those before him. He might not understand it. His destruction might come too, but at the same time, it takes somebody as bold as him to actually bring down those other ones, because a lot of people are just puppets when they get in position. When they become president, they just become puppets for the elite. And so I just think that Trump is not a really good puppet. He not gonna allow nobody to just pull the string. You know what I'm saying? Without him speaking his piece. So I think that he is somebody that was bold enough to actually um, stand in the front line during these end time events and take down the people that need to be taken down, if indeed he get taken down before he gets taken down. It just takes somebody bold to do that. But not saying that he ain't gonna get exposed. He might get exposed too in the end, but he definitely bold, and God has given the nation time to repent. Most definitely, most definitely. And abortion. Thank you for that. And what about abortion? How do I feel about abortion? Or I'm not with abortion. There's so many people, especially people that I know that I met that want children. So I'm not with abortion at all. I just feel like you should put them up for adoption and let people that can't conceive take the baby and give them a loving home. But at the same time, you really can't trust the system. You don't know who they handing these child over to. I would, yeah, man, I wouldn't even want to birth no babies in this world right now. But I'm not saying get no abortion. I'm just saying practice abstinence or wear protection. That's all I can say. Just think about the time that we living in. I could be wrong, but I think he was involved with Epstein. But guess what? If he was indeed, Stephanie, his time will come. But he being used right now to bring down those that's beneath him. You see what I'm saying? That those that's been operating the way they've been operating in private and in secret for a long time. He's being used to, yeah, definitely. God is in control over it all. He is in control. Just what that's why I'm out there. That's what I believe. He is in control over it all. So I kind of go with him, and I don't always, even if I have to stand alone, I don't always just go with man and be ready to crucify somebody or convict somebody because the whole world is ready to convict them. Because like I said, the whole world chose Saul. Saul was a demon. You know what I'm saying? Who really stood on the side of God when he said, I'm gonna give y'all David? They all thought David was too young and too inexperienced. See what I'm saying? So we have to understand sometimes the whole world was laughing at Noah when he was building the ark. The whole world was cracking up. Like, what is this fool doing? Building the ark on dry land. He's such a fool. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really like to go with the world. I like to go against the grain. I've never been the type that go with the world. I go against the world if that means I gotta stand alone. Because I'm like, if the whole world say this right, and I believe it's wrong. I believe it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just because the whole world say it's right. And I know that how Satan operates. He likes to deceive. He's a master deceiver. So that's just how I am. Or what he said about Planned Parenthood. Oh, okay. What he said about Planned Parenthood. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had, I don't know. I think Trump just being used right now. Saul was rejected to become king because he forgave a man who, he said, rejected to become king because he forgave a man who was an enemy of God. Really? Are you talking about after his first reign that he was rejected? Because in the beginning, he was chosen by the people because they wanted a king. Because remember, the people didn't even have a king. They didn't have a king during that time. And so they kind of elected Saul in the beginning. So you must be talking about his second reign. Somebody chose him for him to be in office. King David was a trip too. He was a trip. He was a trip, Trudy. He was a trip. But the thing is, guess what he had? He had a relationship. He had a relationship. He can go and ask for forgiveness, and that was the biggest thing. He had a relationship. He definitely was a trip. So was Solomon. He was a trip too. He was a trip too. But like I said, I think God put people in positions according to his will and his will that he want to see accomplished on earth. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not really about Trump's will, it's about God's will. Trump is just gonna be a puppet and gonna be used to complete God's will and what he prophesied and said that was gonna happen here on earth. But Trump is not he's not really a good puppet when it comes to the elite. So I believe that that's why they want to really impeach him and bring him down because they know that he's not a good puppet. I just have an overall view when it comes to politics. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when it comes to politics and religion and stuff like that, I don't really cram my mind with that type of information because I just trust God. I just trust God, and I believe He omnipresent and omnipotent. So I just trust Him. Y'all ever seen the movie Left Behind? Drop me a one if y'all seen Left Behind. If y'all haven't, watch that movie. I've seen it when I was younger. I might try to pull it up and watch it again before I even recommend that movie because I was a little younger when I seen it. I was in my 20s, but still, I wasn't where I am today. But it's like, I think three parts Left Behind, one, two, and three. And so the guy in the office, the president during that time, it was a trip because everybody loved him. I mean, they loved their president. They glorified this man. But the person that God actually opened his eyes, which was the reporter, God opened the reporter's eyes, and he was able to see the president in a way that nobody else was able to see him. So when he looked at the president, he actually saw like a satanic beast, and everybody else was glorifying this man and just thinking that he was like, the it guy. But when God actually opened the eyes of the reporter was looking at him like one day his eyes just opened and he saw like a satanic beast. Anybody seen that movie? That movie is real good. One, two, and three, Left Behind. So that's what I kind of think when it comes to looking at certain individuals. Like if your eyes is not open and you don't know what kind of spirit that is operating through that person, ain't no telling. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really go by the outside or go by the, you know what I'm saying? Like you just ain't no telling. No, you know what I'm talking about, Trudy. And Work Two Flow Two. That's a good movie. Oh, I ain't never seen. I never read the book. I've never read the book. As far as your opinion on governments and God's involvement, I disagree with you because Christians are commanded to be separate from the world and what it includes is political affairs. I'm not saying I'm cabal with the world. I mean, with the I'm not. I do believe church and state is supposed to be separate. I'm not saying church and state is supposed to be together, but I still believe that God is in control. My point is God is in control over even state affairs. But I don't believe that Christians are supposed to mix. If you actually just heard what I said, Paul, I said I don't get off into political affairs. I don't know if you must have missed that. I said I don't get off into political affairs. I don't get deep off into that. I don't get off into that stuff. I said I trust whatever God is doing. I just trust in that, and I definitely believe that He's in control. He's in control over the whole world, even when it comes to political affairs. He's in control over that. I said the people assigned the kings. The people, just like the people go out and vote for president. I don't vote. I'm sorry. I hate to ruin anybody, but I don't. I don't vote. I just pray. I just pray and I tell God I come into an agreement with whatever it is He's doing. So I don't involve myself in political affairs whatsoever. That's why I said I just have an overall view on everything. And my overall view is the fact that whatever Trump is doing, he's doing because he's supposed to be doing during this time. He's being used during this time. And God had to have somebody during the end time, somebody that was bold enough to bring down the walls of Jericho. If y'all get what I'm saying, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. But I definitely know the governments are influenced by Satan. I definitely understand that. That's why I expose the government. I'm that YouTuber that exposed the government. I expose the governments. I expose the government's agenda. I expose the government's agenda as Satan's kingdom. I just did that in my last video. I saw the last video where I just said that the governments of this world are kingdoms of Satan. I literally just said that. But I'm hoping that y'all kind of get what I'm saying. I don't even like really talking politics because that's nothing that I really get off into. And I definitely understand that church and state supposed to be separate. I was actually going to a church where my pastor would bring in certain political figures, during the time of the election, and I never agreed with that. That was my first sign that there was something wrong with that church. Like, what? This man just brought in Hillary Clinton. Are you serious? Like, why? I never agree with that. I was never for that. I've just always, like I said, when it comes to certain things that's going on in the world, I just know that God just got it under His authority. So I kind of agree with him, even when people was feuding back and forth about whatever it is, when it comes to politics and things like that. I don't really get off into that because I trust that a certain person who the world might not like is in place for a purpose. And so my understanding of why Trump is in place, in position, why I can only go by what I believe that God is saying, is because he bold. And he probably needed somebody bold because he's gonna bring down the walls of Jericho, if y'all get what I'm saying. So that's just my overall view on it. But at the same time, I'm not mixed in when it comes to worldly things and politics whatsoever. So we pretty much are saying the same thing. We pretty much are saying the same thing. I don't get off into that whatsoever. I don't. That's why I just said that that's kind of a touchy subject with me when it comes to politics because I don't know too much about politics. I just trust in the Most High and whatever decisions that He makes, and I stand on His side. Yeah, test the spirit by the spirit. Yeah, exactly. That's basically all we have to do. Yes, religion do get used when it comes, and I just thought that was so ratchet of him. I'm like, this man was bringing in political figures and stuff during the time of the election, and I never agreed with that. You know, I'm like, it was the Jews that went to the state to have Jesus crucified. I've never been for that. I've never thought that that was right. Like, church was supposed to be completely separate from state. So I never agree with that. But a lot of times when you guys talk to me about something or y'all ask me something, I have to revert back to spirituality or revert back to the Bible because that's just the way I see life. Period. You see what I'm saying? So That's why I just said, well, it was the state that crucified Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like the church, the Jews the church should have never took Jesus to the state and had him crucified. This was a religion. This was politics. This was two separate things. Like, why are you bringing the king to the state, to the government, and ask them to crucify him? I've always felt that that was wrong. Um, and so no, mm-mm. I definitely get what you're saying, Paul. I'm not with that at all. What did God surround himself with when he came to this world? What did he say why he came to this world? What did God surround himself with when he came to this world? You talking about the people? But he didn't surround himself with the people. He was the light. And so, those that wanted to get a light to him, or those who wanted to learn more and who was intrigued by his message and intrigued by his word, they followed the light. They came to him. But he didn't come to this world clinging to the world or being of the world. He was just in the world. And by him being a light in the world, those who was intrigued or awakened by what he was speaking, they was clinging to him and following him. If that's what you're saying, Sandra. But yeah, he came so that the world might be saved. But we know that he ain't come to save the earth. He came to save the people of the world. But those that might receive him and those that might receive his calling and his message, that they might be saved. But as he walked the earth, everybody wasn't going to receive him. Not even his own people. His own people gave him up. His own people. Bingo, his own people. His own people. His own people. Message. His own people. We have to understand sometimes the one that steal you out is your own people. The ones that steal you out is the ones that's closest to you, your own people. Christ being the example, your own people will steal you out in a heartbeat. We like to believe a lot of times there's strange people lurking and stuff like that, and it is some strange people lurking. Don't get me wrong, but the majority of the time it's your own people that's selling you out. A lot of these kidnappers and stuff that we seeing is their own people. The mysterious murders and stuff, it is their own people that's handing them over to the beast. I just showed y'all in the beginning in Psalms 103, it was their own people, their own parents sacrificing their sons and daughters unto the beast. So I think God is really trying to show us something when He's telling us your own people. He really trying to show us something. For real. That's right, Sandra. You're right. Sinners of the world. But like I said, they were intrigued by the light. They were intrigued by his message, and they followed. I definitely think that you should go out here and evangelize. So I definitely think you should go out here and evangelize. I don't think you should be a part of worldly traditions, worldly customs, worldly events, worldly things like that that can taint your spirit. You see what I'm saying? But I definitely think that you should go out here and walk as Christ did and lead people to the light. I definitely believe that, and soul win. These are like two different things that, but I definitely believe that, Sandra, but I don't think that you're supposed to mix with the world and do as the world is doing, if you get what I'm saying. Because how you gonna separate yourself from the world and lead people to the light if you mixed in and blended in with them and doing the same thing that they doing? The prophet is definitely not accepted in his own hometown. Definitely bogus, man. All right, I got to get out of here, y'all. It was really good talking to y'all on this Friday. I hope you all have a blessed weekend and a happy Thanksgiving. Me and my family, because my daughter, when she found out, my daughter noticed she Native American, and when she found out about the whole deep meaning behind Thanksgiving, She refused to have the whole traditional Thanksgiving dinner and celebration. So um, what we do is we have dinner and not really the whole traditional type of dinner, but we have dinner maybe a couple days before. I'll let them know ahead of time. We might have dinner this weekend this year, but we normally have dinner before Thanksgiving and we fast. I fast and my husband fasts and my oldest daughter fasts. We'll still feed the little ones, but the grown people fast on Thanksgiving and we fast on Christmas Day. And because I just feel like while the whole world is eating and picking out, and I'd rather fast that day. So, but I want you all to do whatever the Lord leads you all to do, but just have a joyous time with y'all family. Definitely show love, bring the spirit of God into whatever you do, everything you do. Enjoy y'all time, and I will be getting with y'all real soon. I wanted to stop in and say hello and that I love you guys. And just make sure you have a safe holiday. All right. I'm gonna get up out of here. Exactly, Antoine. We in the world, but we not of the world. Yeah. Separate yourself. Separate yourself. Be in the world and be a beacon of light in the world, be the salt of the earth, but not mixing yourself. Like I can't be a beacon of light of the salt of the earth with a somebody who out there drinking and smoking and I'm right next to him drinking and smoking. And I don't feel like that's a way to win somebody's soul because what's the first thing they're gonna say to you? Like you a hypocrite. That's just condemnation. I'm not saying that you can't soul win like that, you probably can, but it's condemnation on yourself as well because how can you actually preach the word of truth and have people to really take you serious if you look and talk and walk and act just like them and behave just like them? You know what I'm saying? So I need to be inspired by you. They need to be inspired by your walk and inspired by your relationship with the Lord. So that's just my opinion about it. But anyway, gotta get up out of here. Gotta get up out of here. I will be talking to you guys soon. I'll let you guys know when we'll have Jackie on, but hopefully we can get her on real soon. But anyway, be a beacon of light, you guys. Be a beacon of light. Be the salt that y'all was called to be. God bless you all. I'm out of here.